Hello, hello. Welcome to week 15, I believe this is. I have some updates. So, some people, this is interesting, this is week 15 because some people's preps are only 12 weeks and that's the time they start preparing for the show to the stage. Some people's are 16 weeks, which means if I had started true prep when I started this vlog, I would be competing next week. That's terrifying because I would be in zero shape to do that. So anyway, I had my check-in with my coach today and the scale finally moved to 141. I've kind of been playing around in this like 143 realm since I was traveling. So it finally dropped and I feel really good about that. Part of why I think it finally dropped, I mean, we have made some calorie adjustments again as of last week, but the last 3-4 days, I have had my recoveries in the green, which my recoveries, I wear Whoop and it measures your strain and your recovery and stuff like that. So I highly think a good portion of that has to do with getting good recovery. And it's interesting because if you watched my last video, you will see that I had a daughter with COVID. We had a house of COVID. Jury's still out on if my son will catch it or any of us, but so far, so good. So I had a lot of like sleep disruption, just taking care of her, making sure she's getting, alternating her Advil and her Tylenol every couple hours. So lots of getting up and down during the night. But I'm kind of like, any of you moms or dads know this, like you can pretty much deliver medication half awake. So, once we got to the point where she wasn't really uncomfortable, I was able to just go up there, wake her up, give her medicine, come back down and go back to sleep. But the other thing that I did because I was having disrupted sleep was that I stopped working out in the morning this week. And anybody who knows me knows I am not a morning person, but I'm also not a night person. I'm like a midday person. I don't know if that exists, but I'm a midday person. However, for all of my busy schedule and my responsibilities and to make sure I get stuff in, usually working out in the morning works best for me just to get it out of the way. It's the hardest part of my day and it's done. And I know that after that, I'll be all right. But with the disrupted sleep, I decided to sleep a little bit later to catch up on anything that I missed and just do my workout in the afternoon. And I wasn't scheduled to go to CrossFit until later in the week anyway. So hoping I get there tomorrow, but again, I'm trying to be cautious. I don't want to bring it into anyone. But yeah, I think that was a huge part of still being able to recover was moving my workout to the afternoon and getting that extra time of sleep. It's just a matter of figuring out how instead of figuring out or convincing yourself why you can't do things. But anyway, so new low for this journey of 141. And I sent in my stuff to my coach. The only day that I've really had any hunger issues was yesterday. I was really hangry by the end of the night, but I didn't disperse my calories particularly well just because of trying to take care of her and go back and forth to work. It was just a mess. So that was my own fault. I don't know that I could have done any better. So it is what it is. I just went to bed earlier. But sent it to my coach. He was glad to see that things had finally moved and I'm still feeling good energy wise. I think a big part of that is that I've pulled back on CrossFit, and as much as it like pains me based on like my preference and wanting to see my friends and loving that competition part of it, like I know I wouldn't feel this good at these calories if I was still doing 4 days a week of CrossFit as well. So there is something to that. And I'm still getting results. So, you know, when you have goals, sometimes one goal and another goal conflict and you have to figure out how to make it work. And my way to make it work is I get to go 2 days a week and enjoy it. And then I look forward to it. And the days when I'm not going, I can look forward to when I do go. Anyway, I'm really bouncing around today. I'm sorry. It's my brain. But so my coach said, since, you know, our current plan is working right now, we're going to leave the nutrition part the same. We're going to leave the activity part the same. And, you know, he started talking about my trending. I've kind of been with him for about 7 weeks and I'm down about 7 pounds, you know, and that was with traveling for like a week and a half in there. So, and he's like, so, you know, I think our goal of getting you down below 140 by September, let's see, today is August 18th. You know, he said, I think our goal of getting it down below 140 by September is completely achievable. You may overshoot that too. He's like, you know, and then we're going to need to talk about what your thoughts are on what we're going to do with show and timing and prep and stuff like that. So I actually was like, well, responded, like, I've been thinking about this, and I did the math the other night, and like the latest show this year is December 3rd, but most of them are like mid-November. So if I do the math on that, I would have to grind between now and then, which is fine. I kind of like grind. I kind of like discomfort. I don't know, I'm weird like that. But the more, you know, familiar I'm getting with the bodybuilding world and having gone to watch the USAs and stuff like that, and just listening to podcasts and various like YouTube channels, because you got to do your homework, guys. Like, you got to know what you're getting yourself into, and always look at different sources, you know, because different people have different experiences and opinions and all that. Anyway, so I've kind of been toying around with, you know, I would like to defer to my coach's choice, and I don't know how I would look by November, you know, and if we got me lean enough, would I have enough muscle left for it to look how it should? Or is it best that I keep building, you know, cut down a little bit more like we planned, and then take a diet break, build a little bit, and then go into like a real prep in January? And, you know, my want was like, hey, I started this like, I don't know, May or something with my big announcement and blah, blah, blah. And like, I felt like I wanted to get it done this year, you know, like it was like May to November should have been fine. But, you know, we've had some things, and I was completely switching my training, and then I had to completely switch my coaches, and that makes a difference. And I hadn't even decided that I was going to go on stage till like a month ago. So I kind of let them know, I'm like, you know, my feelings are like, I want to do it as soon as possible because I want to see results and say I did it and blah, blah, blah. And I said, but I also know how I am. And when I do something, I want to do it right. And I want to beat everybody because that's me. I'm stupid competitive. And I just feel like if I pushed for December, I am concerned that I might have regrets, you know, that if I had waited and done it with a little bit more time and planning, that I would have had a better package. So I said, you know, I kind of explained that, and I was like, but, you know, I hired a coach for a reason. Like, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing with this. So like, you tell me, like, what are your thoughts, concerns, you know, whatever, with these timelines? And he's like, you know, could you push it? Yes. Could you push it and have the same or better package if we slowed it down and did it more strategically for like March, April? No. So if you want to optimize the package that you bring on stage, it's better to do this slower, more strategic. Probably better for your hormones too, which being are having Hashimoto's, like, I need to think about that sometimes, you know, think about the long-term parts of this. So kind of after talking back and forth, I guess we collectively agreed that, you know, rather than wait till September to make this decision, that we're going to push out to 2023. And while that kind of burns a little, because I really wanted to, I guess, push it for this year and like wrap it up in a bow for the year, I just know myself, and I know that when I do something, I want to do it the best I can and be better than everybody else. And I don't think I could do that if I push this timeline. So I have to remember long-term strategy versus short-term wants. So what is our plan? What is our plan? I am actually recording this on my phone, so I don't remember what his email said exactly, but so we're going to continue this current cut into September, through September. You know, we're going to get me below 140, and just kind of let my body tell us when it needs a break. So we're going to keep going with this until we're below 140 and my body starts to have energy issues, or like super hunger issues, whatever. Like you start getting sore, like you start feeling a little wrecked. And that'll kind of be our cue that, like, let's put a pin in this. That's then, you know, if that's like end of September, maybe even October, like, I don't know. It depends on how long my body wants to put up with it. But then we put a pin in it and then do like a reverse diet. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but basically you strategically move yourself back up to maintenance calories, based on whatever your current weight is at that time and activity level. So you don't want to screw around with reverses, because that's when you're most susceptible to increasing body fat. So anyone who has ever done a crash diet and then went back to normal eating can completely attest to this, that as soon as you go back to normal eating, normal calorie intake, that's when you see weight, like fat weight, come back on. So you do it very strategically to avoid that situation. So we would reverse from like October, November, and then sit at maintenance for like December, part of January, depending on what like show we target for next year, and then start prep in January, February, somewhere in there. So this will give me time to lean out a little bit more so that the prep goes a little bit easier, so we don't have to make it quite as miserable. It will allow me to continue to build some of that underlying muscle, because you can do some building in a deficit. It's definitely much harder, but you can definitely build muscle when you're at maintenance. Like, we don't have to bulk, we don't have to go into a huge surplus, but we can maintain the weight that we bring me down to while we're still increasing and definitely maintaining like muscle strength and size. So yeah, that's the plan. I feel like it's the right thing to do. I just don't feel like it was exactly what I wanted, but hey, like, who always gets what they want? Getting our steps in. She's got more energy than I do. Yeah, it is about 5 o'clock. It's after work. I ate CrossFit this morning. I did some walking before, but I didn't do any walking afterwards. I don't know. It was just a day where I was at my desk a lot. So getting in my steps so I can rest tonight, I guess. But man, I'm on this walk and I just want to keep closing my eyes and just like walk with my eyes closed and do like a sleep walk. Like a wall is coming down. I don't know. I think it's a combination of my lower calories, my energy expenditure, and I'm detoxing from caffeine. So I'll explain more of that in next week's video, but I'm not doing cold turkey because God help the world if I do a cold turkey, but I was doing okay. I started it like Saturday and today's Tuesday. I was really doing okay, mostly unnoticeable until like literally right now. I just want to go to sleep. It's only 5 o'clock at night. So that blows. Anyway, but I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm gonna hit my motherfucking steps early so I can sit on my ass and finish my foods for the day and go the fuck to sleep. So sometimes, even though you don't feel like it, you just gotta do your shit. That's all I have to say about that. Just remember, you evolve your body, you evolve your life. You gotta keep fucking pushing.